Hi guys, it's Kat and welcome to a new video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope that you like it and that maybe you'll hit subscribe and stick around. And if you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back. Today is the 4th of July, so if you're here in the States, happy 4th. So I thought since I have a little bit of time, my husband is with the older two and Benji's asleep on me right now, I thought I would go ahead and do a get to know me video. I've seen a few in the past and they seem kind of fun. I do want to say if the angle seems a little strange or in my videos that you see that are coming up, the angles are off, my tripod broke. So right now I've kind of MacGyvered a solution, but I'm waiting for my new one to come in. Okay, so let's get to the get to know you video. These are all random questions. I used a little bit of a generator, but I will put the answers, or the questions rather, not the answers, the questions that I answered in my description box if you would like to do one yourself. All right, what's your name? My name is Kat, and that is the nickname for my full name, which is Catherine. Are you named after anyone? My middle name is after my maternal grandma. What's your favorite color? Blue. I like all shades of blue, which you may guess if you watch my channel frequently because I wear a lot of it. What's your favorite book? You know, the book that I read probably the most was Jurassic Park. I read that book so many times. I really enjoyed it. I haven't read it in a long time, but I really, really liked it when I was younger. I'm also a very, very big fan of the Harry Potter series, as well as the Lord of the Rings series. What's your favorite movie? My favorite movie is a movie that's called The Mighty. It's based on a book that was called Freak the Mighty, and unfortunately, it got almost no advertising, so most people have never heard of it, which is a shame, because I think it's a really beautiful movie. It's a movie about two very different kids who were both dealt a really rotten hand in life. And it's the one boy is just, he lives with his grandparents because his father's like this horrible person, and his father was actually played by James Gandolfini, and that character's name is Max, and he's played by Eldon Henson, who is in that Daredevil show on Netflix, and he's also fairly well known for being in like the Mighty Ducks and things like that. And then his friend was played by Kieran Culkin, and his mom was Sharon Stone. Gillian Anderson was in it, as well as, I believe Harry Dean Anderson was also in that movie, but I might be wrong about that. It's been a while since I've seen it. But it's very, very well done. It's a really beautiful story, and if you ever get the chance to see it, I do highly recommend it. It also involves like King Arthur and his court as well. It was a very enjoyable movie. That's probably my favorite one. But you know what? Jurassic Park is probably that movie that I would never get sick of watching. I like that one a lot. I will watch that one. And I'm also a fan of the movie Casablanca. What's your favorite song? Imagine by John Lennon. That's my all-time favorite song. I like just about anything by the Beatles, though, too. But Imagine is my favorite. Let's see. What's your favorite TV show and your favorite character? Okay, my favorite TV show currently is Criminal Minds, which I'm going to have to find a new favorite pretty soon because they're going into their very last season. And my favorite character from that show is Dr. Spencer Reed. Okay, where were you born? I was born in Florida. Where do you live? We live in Texas now. My husband and I spent the majority of our lives in Florida. Right after we got married, we moved up to Georgia, and then from Georgia, we moved to Texas. We've been in Texas for 5 years now. We actually moved while I was still pregnant with Wesley. Let's see. Are you single or married? I'm married. How long was your longest relationship? That one's with my husband. We've been married for 12 years, but we've been together for 19. And let's see. Do you have kids? If so, how many? Yes, I've talked about it before. I have 3 kids. My daughter Isabel is 7. My son Wesley just turned 5. And Benji's our youngest, and he's about 9 weeks. Let's see. What's your favorite sport? I am not the hugest sport fan, but I do like hockey. I will watch hockey. Otherwise, I'm not real huge into sports. Let's see. How tall are you? I am not very tall. I am only 5 feet and 1 inches tall, and I just barely hit that one. So yeah, I'm not very tall. Let's see. Dogs or cats? Cats, and it's not because I dislike dogs. I don't dislike dogs. It's that I'm allergic to dogs. And I'm allergic to an enzyme in their saliva that will eat through part of my skin. So there will be no doggies for us. We found this out when my husband and I had a dog for a little while. Let's see, tea or coffee? Tea. I am not much of a coffee drinker. What's your favorite drink? I like water. I drink lots of water. I like Coca-Cola. I do like Coke. And if it's more of an adult drink, I like wine, and I like Bloody Marys. Let's see. What are your life goals? I would say the biggest life goal that I have is not to screw up my children. How have any books you've read changed your life? No, I wouldn't say any of them have changed my life necessarily. There have been some that I've really, really enjoyed and have, kind of talked about to other people to see if maybe they would enjoy them as well. But I can't say any of them necessarily changed my life. How would you describe your fashion sense? I don't really have one. I mean, hot mess maybe. Very little thought or effort really goes into my clothing choices. I wear what's comfortable. I figure since I'm mostly just dealing with my kids, I should be comfortable and not trying to get real dressed up or anything like that. What is your go-to hairstyle? My hair is normally in a ponytail. Today it is down just because it kind of has this cute little curl to it today, which I rarely get, so I thought I'd just wear it down. But Benji also is wearing pajamas that fold over his hands, so he can't grab and pull. Do you have any bad habits? I'm a nail biter. I've tried to stop, and I've actually been really good about not actually biting my nails, but the problem is they're so brittle that they'll start to break, and then I will find myself biting them anyway, just to get that little part off. I know, it's like an endless cycle. What is your favorite Netflix show? I don't really watch much of the Netflix shows. I did like Stranger Things, though, and I am pretty excited that season 3, I think, comes out tonight. So my husband and I will probably watch some of that if a certain little somebody will let us. Let's see. What theme parks have you been to? Well, I grew up in Florida, so I've been to most of them. I've been to Disney several times, Epcot several times. MGM, I think I've been to once or twice, and I don't even think it's called MGM anymore. I think it's called Hollywood Studios or maybe something like that. I've been to Animal Kingdom, but I've only been there once, and it was right when they first opened, and there was a lot of problems, unfortunately. We've been to SeaWorld, we've been to Universal and Universal Studios. The last time we were at Universal Studios was right when the magical world of Harry Potter had opened up. They've expanded a lot, I'm sure, since then. One of the funniest stories I have, though, does involve being at Universal Studios. I was with a friend, and we were on the Jaws ride, and the super unenthusiastic tour guide was laying up against the side of the boat. And if you've never been on that ride before, the shark comes up like this on one side, and the boat tips, and he fell out of the boat. And so somebody lets the people that they're in contact with know, like, he fell out of the boat. And now I thought Universal handled this poorly. Not only did they pull him out, but then they proceeded to fire him in front of this boat full of people and then put a different tour guide on. So as I'm sure you can imagine, it kind of ruined the magic of that ride. And I don't think the Jaws ride is even there anymore, at least in the one in Florida. But yeah, we've been to most of the theme parks in Florida. Let's see. What is your favorite genre of film? Comedies or probably animated movies that I go to see with my kids. I don't really like dramas just because some of them are so heavy and depressing, and I don't want to pay the exorbitant price to go to the movies to come out more depressed than when I went in. And I don't like horror movies because I get bored. I don't scare real super easy. And a lot of like the slasher-esque type films, there's only so many ways you can kill somebody with a machete. I don't like and the psychological thrillers are usually fairly good. It's just I figure it out and then what am I going to do now? Because now I already know. Just like my husband's very excited about the new Child's Play movie, and I just can't work up any energy to go see it. It's not, that kind of thing is just not entertaining to me. So comedies and animated stuff. I want to say the very last movie I was actually able to go see in the theaters may have been Wreck-It Ralph 2 around Christmas time. Yeah. Let's see. Do you have any pets? Yes. We have a senior citizen, Kitty. She is 15 or 16 years old now, so she's pretty up there. We have 2 guinea pigs named Chocolate and Gizmo, and we have a fish tank. And the fish tank mostly has those little glowfish, some tetras, and some guppies in it. We also have 2 little shrimp to help keep the tank clean, but since we only recently put them in there, they're still hiding because they're kind of freaked out. Let's see. What are your pet peeves? My biggest pet peeve is probably people who can't put their phone down when they're in the car. That drives me insane. That people, you cannot split your attention like that. Where you're going from looking at whatever you're looking at on your phone to trying to drive. I've seen so many terrible accidents. We had a fatality in our area not that long ago because some guy was trying to text while he was driving and he hit somebody and he killed her. And that's terrible. And I really, really can't stand it that people are so obsessed with their phones that they're willing to put other people and themselves at risk because they can't put their phone down. And my weirdest pet peeve is probably whistling. I know a lot of people are probably like, what? Here's why. I only hear tones out of my right ear. And so when people whistle, it kind of feels like I'm getting stabbed in the head sometimes. And I don't want to be that crazy person screaming like, stop whistling or anything. It's just, it hurts sometimes when people do that. So that's kind of my weird pet peeve is whistling. Oh, and when people crack their necks, that just sort of freaks me out. Do you have any weird quirks? I do. You may see in some of my videos, I mentioned it once before, I do this thing with my fingers. I don't realize that I'm doing it most of the time. It's because I have a connective tissue disorder, and it's an autoimmune disease that affects my joints and my skin. I bruise really, really easily, and my joints get very stiff, and sometimes they swell up. What I'm doing with my fingers is a subconscious attempt to make them stop hurting. So I usually don't even realize that I'm doing it. Do you have any siblings? I do. I have one sister, and she is almost 4 years younger than I am. What is your go-to fast food order? I guess that would kind of depend on where I went. I would say probably the one place where it's almost always going to be the same is Panera, because I'm almost always guaranteed to get the half sandwich and soup combo. Now the sandwich and soup may occasionally change, but it's always going to be a sandwich and soup. When it comes to other fast food places, it's probably just going to be some sort of chicken related dish. I don't eat ground meat. So things like burgers and things like that are out of the question for me there. And when it comes to the ground meat, it's because it's a texture issue for me. It's not that I just don't like the taste. It's just I can't eat it. There's a texture problem there for me. Okay, so that's the 30 questions. And maybe you know me a little bit better now. And maybe you just think I'm super weird. I don't know. I guess it could go either way. Anyway, I hope that maybe you liked this video. And if you would like to do it, I will include these questions in the description box below. And if you're new, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you'll subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a good 4th of July.